Sometimes, betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people smiling right across your dinner table. At my retirement party, surrounded by my family, friends, and colleagues, I thought I was celebrating 40 years of hard work. But instead, I was about to discover what true deceit looks like. My daughter-in-law, Mihak, handed me a glass of sparkling juice with the sweetest smile, but something in her eyes made my heart freeze. Just as she turned away, I saw her whisper something to my son, who looked nervous. That's when I realized this wasn't a toast. It was a test. So, before anyone could notice, I switched glasses. And that single, quiet act saved my life. My name is Shireen, 65 years old, a retired headmistress who thought she'd seen everything life could throw at her. I raised one son, Omar, after my husband passed away when Omar was only 12. He was my pride, kind, brilliant, the reason I never remarried. When Omar brought Mihak home 5 years ago, I welcomed her with all the warmth a mother could give. She was beautiful, clever, but something in her eyes was always calculating. She smiled too easily and loved too loudly when others were watching. Still, I ignored my instincts. Because every mother wants peace, not war. The day of my retirement was meant to be a celebration of 40 years of teaching. My colleagues had planned a dinner, but Omar and Mihak insisted. Ami, let us host it at home. It'll be more special. I agreed, touched by their thoughtfulness. By evening, the house was glowing. Flowers, music, laughter. Mihak moved gracefully among the guests, complimenting everyone. But when I looked closely, I noticed she kept glancing toward me and whispering to Omar. Her smile was painted on, but her eyes were sharp as glass. When it was time for the toast, Mihak approached me with 2 glasses, one for her, one for me. Congratulations, Ami, as she said sweetly, you deserve this more than anyone. As she handed me the glass, I noticed a faint powdery residue near the rim, something the bubbles couldn't hide. And just as she turned her head, I quietly switched our glasses. The room echoed with laughter and applause as everyone raised their drinks. Mihak drank deeply. I pretended to sip mine. 15 minutes later, Mihak excused herself, her smile faltering. Within moments, she collapsed near the hallway. The room went silent. People rushed toward her, panic everywhere. I stayed seated, calm, because I already knew. When the ambulance arrived and took her to the hospital, I turned to Omar. His face was white with fear. He stammered, Ami, what did you do? I looked at him and said quietly, the question is, beat her, what did she do? Later, at the hospital, the doctor confirmed, traces of sleeping pills mixed with alcohol. Enough to make someone faint, enough to cause harm in someone older, like me. Omar broke down and confessed. Mihak had convinced him that I was planning to transfer the house in my name alone after retirement, and she wanted to teach me a lesson. She had planned to embarrass me in front of everyone, to make me appear drunk or disoriented. But instead, she drank her own trap. I didn't press charges. I didn't scream or curse. I simply packed her bags and placed them outside my gate. Omar begged me to forgive her, but I told him gently, forgiveness doesn't mean letting snakes back into your garden. Today, I live alone but in peace. And every morning, when I sip my tea, I smile and whisper to myself, never underestimate a mother's instinct. It can save your life, even from your own family.